Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Sir David Gascoigne.
Nau mai piki mai kake mai, I rungi te reo karanga a te kāwana tiana. E hōnore hare ruia ki a iwa o ngā mana. Kia whai kroria ki a koe, I rungi te mua o te matua, te tama o te wairua tapu me ngāne pono, me te māngai e tautoko mai, aia nei, aki nei.
Thank you, everyone. Please take a seat. I ngā mana, I ngā reo, I ngā iwi o ngā hoe whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki a koutou. Nau mai haere mai rā ki te whare kawana. Kia ora tātou katoa. I specifically acknowledge the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta, Minister of the Crown, our kuia, Mrs Turupawai Higgins, our kaumātua, Mr Joe Harawera. Tēnā koutou. And I have a very special welcome to today's honour recipients. It's a pleasure to host this investiture ceremony and bring together 8 honour recipients, together with their family and friends, to recognise the contributions they've made to our country. As Governor-General, I have the authority and the privilege, on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of New Zealand, to hold an investiture for her and to confer the honours to which each recipient is entitled. An investiture ceremony is one of the most important events I perform as Governor-General. So it's a very real pleasure to resume these ceremonies after the disruptions we've all experienced over the last few months. On these occasions, it's my privilege to bring together individuals who've made an exceptional contribution in their respective fields of endeavour. Some of you have a public profile, others are well known in their particular communities. But what you have in common is the positive impact you've had on the economic, environmental, social or cultural well-being of our nation. This will be a memorable day for you and for your family and friends who've come to witness your investiture and celebrate with you. Ladies and gentlemen, as each recipient comes forward, I invite you all to join me in thanking and congratulating them for their service to our country. Catriona McLeod will now read citations for each recipient and invite them to come forward to receive their insignia.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr John Delahunt of Wellington, for services to endocrinology and the transgender community. Dr John Delahunt has worked as a consultant endocrinologist and as a lecturer at the Wellington campus of the University of Otago for more than 40 years. He's been an active member of the New Zealand Society of Endocrinology, NZSE, serving as the Treasurer and Secretary, and as the NZSE representative on the Royal Australasian College Mr. Graham Gale of Outram for services to aviation and conservation. Graham Gale and his wife, Ros Gale, established Helicopters Otago, which owns and operates 17 helicopters. He initiated the Spates Rescue Helicopter and encouraged local businessmen to form the Otago Rescue Helicopter Trust. The Otago Regional Rescue Helicopter now serves Otago and Southland with 4 dedicated helicopters able to respond to emergencies 24/7. Over 21 years, it's delivered more than 10,000 patients to Dunedin Hospital. Mr. Gale ran the first night vision goggle program for all emergency rescue helicopter operations in New Zealand and set up the first certified BK117 for instrument flight rules GPS performance-based navigation. He and his crews have completed hundreds of aerial pest destruction eradication operations. Mr. Gale invested in the development of purpose-built baiting equipment, which has since been used nationally and internationally. Mrs. Ros Gale of Outram for services to aviation and conservation. Ros Gale and her husband Graham established Helicopters Otago, which owns and operates 17 helicopters. She has run the financial and administrative arm of Helicopters Otago and supported Mr. Gale to undertake emergency helicopter, air ambulance, and pest eradication operations. Mrs. Gale's business and logistical acumen have been critical for enabling Helicopters Otago first-class capability development and the sustainability of the rescue helicopter service. She has played the instrumental role of organizing logistics for pest control operations, coordinating pilots, helicopters, and equipment for when suitable weather windows allow the operations to go ahead, while also ensuring the company's other commitments are met for clients. Mrs. Ros Gale and Mr. Graham Gale, please come forward. Ms. Annette Milligan of Nelson for services to health, particularly nursing. Annette Milligan is a teacher, registered nurse, and business owner. She founded Nelson's INP Medical Clinic, a nurse-led sexual and reproductive health centre that offers advice and checks for women's health issues. INP also runs the local sexual assault and treatment service, which Ms. Milligan coordinates. She chairs the member and accreditation committee of MedSac, where she's enabled nurse practitioners to become registered sexual assault examiners. She's a founding member and chair of the Safeguarding Children Initiative, which educates the children's workforce and the community on child protection. She is the founder and director of Health Click, which provides health education for young people. She has founded and led other community groups and businesses and has sat on several Ministry of Health committees and local trusts. Ms. Annette Milligan, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mrs. Judith Gear of Wellington for services to language education and New Zealand-Germany relations. Judith Gear is the head of the language department at the Goethe Institute in Wellington. She has taught German language courses and has convened an annual conference for teachers of German in New Zealand. She helped establish German in Aotearoa, New Zealand, GANZ, and New Zealand's International Language Week. She led the provision of language training for New Zealanders travelling to Germany as part of Creative New Zealand's Berlin Writers and Visual Arts residencies, and has helped to establish and run cultural exchanges between students in New Zealand and Germany. Mrs. Gear helped create the online animation series Life Swap, which explores cultural differences through the eyes of two exchange students. Mrs. Judith Gear, please come forward. Associate Professor Azra Moeed of Lower Hutt for services to science education and the community. Associate Professor Azra Moeed worked as a high school teacher and then became an academic involved in science teacher education at Victoria University of Wellington. She has researched and published internationally and co-authored 2 books. She has contributed to the Australasian Science Education Research Association, the American Education Research Association, and the Royal Society of New Zealand. She has helped Te Kura Māori o Pororua to develop their science education program and collected books for school children. Dr. Moeed has supported her local Indian and Muslim communities and contributed to Capital City Science Educators, the Biology Teachers Network, the Wellington Zoo, science fairs, and the Alan Wilson Centre of Molecular Evolution. Professor Azra Moeed, please come forward. Mr. Clayton Stent of Taupo for services to the community and governance. Clayton Stent was Mayor of Taupo for 2 terms. He helped bring life education to the Taupo Ruapehu district and is now patron of the Life Education Trust. He held the voluntary role of Regional Civil Defence Controller. He is the chair of the Lake Taupo Protection Trust and former chair of the Lake Taupo Development Trust. He was a trustee of the 100% Lake Taupo Charitable Trust and the Geyser Trust. He served 2 terms as president of Lakeland Lions Club. He has provided pro bono legal services to the Citizens Advice Bureau. Mr. Stent is patron of the Inter-Church Welfare Society. Mr. Clayton Stent, please come forward. Miss Sonia Tiatia of Wellington for services to hospitality and youth. Sonia Tiatia established Dine Academy in Wellington with the aim of nurturing young people, particularly those at senior high school age, to be the next generation of employable hospitality and tourism industry ambassadors. Dine Academy has since expanded to Auckland and become a registered charity. It has particularly encouraged young Pacific and Maori people to gain skills for study or work. Ms. Tiatia has accelerated thousands of young people into work and tertiary studies. She's been an industry advisor and support person to marae, high schools, youth organisations and families throughout New Zealand, and is passionate about creating opportunities for young people to develop and transition into employment. Ms. Sonia Tiatia, please come forward.
Our honours system is our nation's highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces values and behaviours that sustain our communities and help our nation thrive and prosper. And these include service, courage, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of knowledge and excellence. By using their talents to make ours a better society, whether by services to their communities, or by their leadership in diverse fields of endeavour, or their commitment to excellence in their own field of expertise. Our recipients have set a fine example to others, encouraging them in their own endeavours. To the recipients, it's been a privilege to hear your stories. You have demonstrated determination, commitment, compassion in your daily lives. In your own way, each of you has helped make Aotearoa New Zealand a better place to live. In some cases, your influence and the positive impact of your work has extended beyond our shores. Your actions and the stories we've heard bring to mind the words of the political leader Mahatma Gandhi when he said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." On behalf of all New Zealanders, I thank you for serving others and helping to make Aotearoa New Zealand a better place, whether by dedicating your lives to the public good, achieving distinction in your chosen field, or inspiring others with your leadership. Please wear your insignia with pride, knowing that your contributions are recognised and valued, and others are inspired by your example. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that almost brings to the end the formal part of today's ceremony. But before we break, can I ask you all to stand and we'll sing our national anthem. Thank you.
Oh